Is the content of the page is clear? Is the content of the page clear to you? Please write comments. I am inviting students to write the comments if you clearly see the content page on the screen. Perhaps one is present, one is in the line. Please write comments if you hear me clearly and if you see the content page on the screen. Please write comments. I see one has joined. Please, two has joined. Please write comments if you see the content page on the screen. Everything is clear. Thank you. So content page you see. So thank you very much. I'm now going to my own class. Be attentive to what I say. I have magnified the page. Perhaps you can see the title of the lesson, important structures for completing sentences. You know, there is a question in our exam, like completing sentences of 5 marks. Not only that, we must know English sentence structures correctly in order to write sentences in our composition. That means when we go to write anything, we require to write sentences, and if the sentences are not structurally correct, we cannot express our views, we cannot express what we want to mean to the readers, or we cannot express our ideas in the answers that we want to expose or write in our question papers and answer sheets. Anyway, you see, I have divided a number of parts, divided the lesson into a number of parts. Part 1, subject plus verb. This is the basic structure. This is the basic structure of English language. And you see, a sentence must have a subject and a main verb. Very simple sentences. You see, they have a nice house. Everybody agreed. My sister called. You're thinking, it's quite easy. Of course, it is. But now we go to part 2. Using phrases as subjects and verbs. We know that the simple sentences that we have written in part 1, they have a nice house, everybody agreed, my sister called. These sentences may not express the whole ideas, whole things that we want to mean. There may be some more ideas, more thoughts, more feelings, more excitements that we want to write in the sentences. Then we need to add extra components to these basic sentences. And you see, as I have written in the beginning, almost always we need to use extra components with subjects and verbs for adding extra information. As I have already told you, everybody agreed. Very simple sentence. And we want to add some extra information. But how? You see, everybody who was in the class agreed. So we have added who was in the class. This portion added in the basic sentence, everybody agreed. But how? You see, it's a clause. It's a relative clause. Very important to know. And you see, the first part is about the form or the structure, subject plus verb. There is a subject. Here, they is the subject, have is the verb, and extension. And in example B, in sentence B, you see, everybody is subject. And there is only one subject and one verb. Agreed is the verb. And there is the third, sorry. And example C, you see, my sister called, my sister subject, called verb. So very simple to understand. Of course, it's quite easy. But when we go to express some more information in the sentences, we need to add some extra components. And then we have to say enhance the subject or the verb. We can do it, of course, easily if we have sufficient knowledge about structure. One thing we have to keep in mind that we cannot go out of the basic structure. We are working on only this basic structure, verb plus subject plus verb. We can do nothing beyond this structure. There will be one subject and one verb, but we will add many information using extra components. Here you see example B, everybody who was in the class agreed. And then you see in sentence C, everybody who was at the board meeting held last Sunday evening. So this is the portion or the extra component added to the subject everybody. Who was at the board meeting held last Sunday evening. This is the extra component we have added to the subject everybody. And then goes the verb, agreed to change the existing office dress code to something more informal. So we have also added extra component to the verb, agreed, the basic verb. We have added this long portion to change the existing office dress code to something more informal. Then look at the sentence D. Everybody who was in the class last Sunday agreed to attend all the classes regularly. You see here, we have added who was in the class last Sunday to the subject everybody. And we have added to attend all the classes regularly to the verb agreed. But the basic structure of the sentence remains same. Subject and then verb. But we have added modifiers. This is post modifiers. This portion post modifies the subject everybody. And this is also to attend the classes regularly modifies the verb agreed. This is also a post modifier. I think you're understanding things quite easily. Then go to the sentence E. My sister Mary called last night. So you see, my sister, then we have expanded to Mary. Called is the basic verb. And then last night, post modifier. Last night, the portion, post modifies the verb called. Mary, the name, post modifies the subject, my sister. So in this way, we can add extra components as we need to express additional information in the sentences. F number sentence, you see, my sister Mary, who I haven't spoken to for long. So the portion who I haven't spoken to for long actually modifies the subject, my sister Mary. And then the verbs come, the verb comes called to tell about a new job. So to tell about the news of the portion or extra component modifies the verb called. So the basic structure remains same. Subject plus verb. But we have modified, we have added some extra components to make the sentence longer. Why? We need to express more information. We want to tell some more things. Example Z. They have a nice house. Yes, there is the subject, have is the verb, and a nice is the do not object. They have a nice house on the elephant road that goes from the science lab to the Kataban Mosque. You see? So the basic sentence is they have a nice house, but we want to add some more information to this basic structure. How? By adding extra component that modifies the noun house. It's a post modifier, very big modifier. Then you try to understand the sentence. My maths teacher from high school was really good at explaining complicated things. You see here, my maths teacher was really good. So my math teacher was really good. This is the basic structure. But from high school, at explaining, was explaining complicated things are additional components. Anyway, I think you have understood the things so far. We need to add extra components, extra information for our own need. And I think so far things are quite easy, of course easy, but we can have a test how far we have come to. But look at the following sentences. We will back home next Friday. Try to understand the sentence. Is the sentence structurally correct? Grammatically correct? Of course not. Why? You see, with the subject, will is the auxiliary verb. But what is the main verb? We know there must be a subject and a main verb in any sentence. No sentence can exist without a subject and a main verb, usually. So there should be a main verb. We will back home. We will back home next Friday. No verb. Yes, we can use go. We will go back home next Friday. And the second test. imposing higher taxes on fast food, it's a good idea. You see, there are two subjects. There cannot be two subjects and one verb. Imposing higher taxes on fast food, it's a subject. And eat is also a subject. And here the contracted form of the verb is. It's means it is. And this is the only verb. Because it's a good idea. Only verb is. So two subjects cannot be governed by one verb. There are two subjects and there should be two verbs. Or there should be one subject. Yes, we can do it easily. Keeping the information same. Imposing high taxes on fast food is a good idea. We can omit it is a good idea. Imposing high taxes on fast food is a good idea. Second, you see, example C. Secondly, affects individual's life directly. Is the structure of the sentence correct? Of course not. Because you see, the sentence doesn't have any subject. The sentence doesn't have any subject. Affects is the verb. So what is the subject? Secondly, affects individual's life directly. Yes, there may be a number of subjects possible. You can imagine a number of possibilities about the subject. Yes, we can do it, think it from the sentence B, imposing higher taxes. So the very fact of imposing higher taxes on fast food, of course, can affects individual's life directly. Yes, you can use it or the idea or the idea of imposing higher taxes. Yes, easily you can use it. Secondly, it affects individual's life directly. Sentence number D, you see, if anybody visits Egypt, he will find many old buildings in cities, especially in Cairo and Alexandria. These buildings are around 4,400 years old. There are three subjects and three verbs, but not correctly punctuated. You see here, if anybody visits Egypt, yes, anybody is the subject. He will find many old buildings in cities. Yes, he is the subject, especially in Cairo and Alexandria. These buildings. So you try to understand. There should be a punctuation marks. We can use here full stop, no doubt. But it's a single sentence. We know it very well that in the place of a full stop, we can easily use a semicolon. So we can use a semicolon and the sentence will be structurally correct. Yes, the sentence is quite correct now. These buildings are around 400 years old. Thank you very much. And now part 3. Please keep in mind that we are working on a very simple and easy sentence structure, subject plus verb. All we are doing only with the sentence structure, subject and verb. But there are many other structures in English sentences. But today, we'll keep tied with only one structure, subject and verb. Now, part 3, it's about empty subject. Sometimes we see that some sentences don't have subjects in the real terms of the grammar. That means we cannot say that it's a subject according to the rules of grammar. And we know empty subjects actually are it and there. This it and there are actually used to introduce or begin a sentence. And we also call these it and there introductory it or indefinite it and introductory there. But we have termed here empty subjects. Anyway, please keep in mind. So how and why we use these empty subjects? It is used in case of distances, times, weather, and situations. It, the empty subject, it is used when we talk about distances, times, weather conditions, and situations. Examples, you see, it's not far to the station. It's not far to the station. That means the station is quite near. It's worth going. That means we can go to the station quite easily without facing any difficulty. Without becoming tired, we can go to the station. That's why it's worth going. Sentence C. It won't take long to get there. You see here, this is talking about time. This is talking about time, and A and B is about distance. C and D is C and D, C, D, and E about time. It's one. It won't take long to get there. That means we can we can reach there within a very short time. How long it will take you to finish everything? It is also talking about time. How long will it take you to finish everything? How long will it take you to finish everything? It's 6:30, the time, 6:30. And now F, G, and A is talking about weather condition. It's sunny. It will be cold tomorrow. It was really wet last month. And you see I, J, and K talking about situation. It's safe to talk, it's safe to walk around at night here. It's safe to walk around at night here. It's good what you could join. It's good that you could join us. It's really cozy, comfortable. Cozy means comfortable in here. And then another empty subject there, as we already know as introductory there. There is usually used in case of something that exists, that has on earth, that is on earth. There's some salad in the fridge. So there is some salad we eat with our meal, at the time of our meal, salad in the fridge. There are several reasons why I have to say no to this idea. There are several reasons why I have to say no to this idea. There didn't used to be so many homeless people here in the city. here in the city. There's mosquito on your nose. There have been several developments since the last time we spoke. So these are the situations that actually exist. Now please have a test on it or there. A, B, C, D, E, there are as many as 5 sentences for your test. That isn't enough time to eat before we go. Is it here? Is it eat or there? Yes, I am telling you, there isn't enough time. There isn't enough time to eat before we go. That time to go. Quite easy. It's time to go. That took me longer to get here than I thought it would. Yes, it took me. Remember, dash won't be much fun. You don't know anyone if you don't. There won't be much fun if you don't know anyone. There won't be many people you know at the wedding. Yes, there won't be many people you won't know, you know at the wedding. So I think these are all quite easy to understand, and you please try to follow these sentences to write in your own works activities. Now, part 4. Word order. It's very important as well as quite easy, because it is not that we use only the subject and the verb all the time. We also use auxiliary verb with the main verb. And we must know that always main verbs are used with auxiliary verbs if they are, or auxiliary verbs are always used in association with the main verb. And they come or they go after the subject, usually. They have but a nice house, I'm sorry. They have but a nice house. My sister Monday will call tonight. You see here, have what? Have is the auxiliary verb. Will call you. What is the auxiliary verb? But the question, why are we learning this thing? Yes, it's quite important. Important to know that when we write things of ourselves, we very often commit mistakes. That's why we should know these things very clearly. And when we're making questions, we also lead to do mistakes. In questions with be, that means be verb, as main verb, we know there are as many as 8 forms of main verb of be verb, and they can be used both as a auxiliary verb and main verbs. Of course, verb be, the form be cannot be used, be and being cannot be used as main verb. But other 6, am, is, are, was, were, now 5 forms, am, is, are, was, were. These 5 forms can be used as main verbs. Are we ready? Yes. Were there many people there? Quite easy to understand. I think you are feeling quite comfortable to understand easily. In questions, auxiliary verbs always go before the subject. Important. When we make questions, auxiliary verbs always come before the subject. Can you help me? What time does she arrive? Does the auxiliary verb. How many pieces of cake have you had already? Have is the auxiliary verb, and here had is the main verb. So it's important to know. And now please come down to conditional sentences. I think it's quite important to understand. Conditional sentences, left and right, critically. Sometimes it was quite difficult to understand and use with a sense of misleading ourselves to misunderstanding. Conditional sentences tell us what actually happens, what could happen, what we wish would happen, and what might have happened. And this is the form. And this is the form. If clause provides us condition, and the main clause, this is the main clause, better say main clause. Main clause provides us a result or effect. It's important. So we have come to know about what things actually we get from a conditional sentence. As the number of the examples shown on the screen, you see there are as many as 4 examples. So there are as many as 4 conditionals. And then more example for your more easy understanding. Examples. Number 1, if I get sick, I go to the doctor. If I get sick, I will go to the doctor. So the if clause is same here. If clause is same, but the main clause different. Because different situation is meant by the 2 different sentences. Example A actually means fact. It's true. It is not to be changed. That means if I get sick, I go to the doctor. There cannot be any argument here, but there is possibility. And this is, you see, tense is present, but here time is future. It's important. In conditional clauses, time and tense are not always same. So is the case with many sentences in English. Time and tense are not always the same. Time and tense may be different. As you see here, if I get sick, I go to the doctor. If you go to the doctor, it's an usual activity. It may be future, may be present. But this is future. If I get sick, I will go to the doctor. See number, if I got sick, I would go to the doctor. Unreal possibility. If I got sick, but I did not get sick. So it's not real, unreal. That's why I would go to the doctor, but I actually haven't or I did not go. And number D, if I had been sick, I would have gone to the doctor. Entirely unreal situation. The quite situation is unreal, quite hypothetical, imaginary situation. So when there is not a possibility, quite unreal, we use these conditionals. So I think from these 4 sentences of conditions, we can gauge that there are as many as 4 conditional sentences. And now I am discussing these four conditional sentences one by one, one after another. Zero conditional. Zero conditionals actually mean things that are always true. And these conditionals are used to indicate habits, facts, and truths. And we can't argue about it. There cannot be any argument about the truth, about the fact. So the form of zero condition, E plus present tense, that means E plus is present tense, and the main clause is present tense. For example, if you squeeze an apple, you get juice. If you put ice in your drink, it melts. If you heat water, it boils. We cannot argue with any of the three situations. So in these situations, we must use first condition. So the question or the exercise or the test, if I eat, I satisfy my hunger. Of course, if I eat, I satisfy my hunger. I think you will understand quite easily. First conditional, there are more conditionals. We have come after zero conditional. Now we are going to first conditional. Real and possible situation in the present or future. Real and possible. You see here, if it rains, I will get rain. So the form is if clause is present, but the main clause is future indefinite. You see here. But you can also use going to structure. That means if it rains, I will get rain. If it rains, I am going to get rain. If it's hot tomorrow, I'll go for a swim at the beach. I am going for a swim at the beach. It's also correct. Number C, if you follow the online language class sessions, you will be more competent in English. Exercise. But if you leave the session, but you leave the session means if you do not join my class anymore, what will happen? Answer is up to you. You please try to work out the answer. Second conditional. Second conditional is quite unreal or impossible things in the present or future. It's not real, it's unreal. For A plus past simple, A plus is past simple, but main clause, you see, would plus bare infinitive. If I won the lottery, I would buy a big house. You see here, if I win, past tense won, and the main clause, I would buy a big lottery, big house. But I did not win any lottery. This is the fact. Fact is quite, truth is quite opposite to the idea given here. And B number you see, next example. If I had more money, I would buy a boat. But I did not have more money. Now the exercise. If I finished work earlier, what I would be able to do. So there may be many possible answers. And you try to work out the answer. It is up to you. Third conditional, past hypothetical situations, things that did not happen at all. Form. A plus past perfect, that means A plus is past perfect. In the main clause, would plus have plus past perfect. If I had got up on time, if I had got up on time, I wouldn't have missed the bus. But things happen quite opposite. Things happen that I have missed the bus. That means I did not get up timely, and as a result, I missed the bus. This is the fact. So the fact and the situation quite opposite here. B number. If we had looked at the weather report, we would have stayed home. But the fact is that we did not look at the weather report, and we have already come out of home. If I had known that you are visiting, I would have made time to see you, but I don't know. If I had known that you are visiting, yes, you are visiting, but I did not know. That's why I did not make any time to see you. This is the truth. Fact. Fact is just opposite. Exercise. If I had lived in the rural area, if I had lived in the rural area, what I would have done? Answer is quite easy to understand, and it depends upon your imagination. So try to work out from your imagination the answer. And now mixed conditionals, the last conditional, mixed conditional, mixed two times in one sentence. This conditional mixes two times in one sentence. Very interesting. Help you to move through time to different times that work together. Second conditional in one clause and the third conditional in another clause. In mixed clause, what you will find? Second conditional in one clause and the third conditional in another clause. Please look at these two examples. If I had slept last night, I wouldn't feel so tired, but I'm now tired. You see here, what's the tense? Tense. Past tense. I had slept last night. If I had slept last night, but I did not sleep, I wouldn't feel so tired. It's present. The main clause provides us with the present information. That means the result is present. The work that did not happen, yes, was in the past tense, but the effect or the result that you get from the main clause is present. It's very important to understand. If the tickets weren't so expensive, this is the present tense. Actually, if the tickets weren't so expensive, time is here present. Time is here present. And this is second conditional. Past indefinite means second conditional. And would have gone means third conditional. But there, second conditional, you see, the time is present. Because the tickets are actually expensive. If the tickets weren't so expensive. But what is the present situation? Tickets are expensive. I would have gone to the cinema last night. And now there are some other examples for you. If I had woken up earlier, I wouldn't have missed the bus. If I had woken up earlier, I would be at work already. If you had learned how to use mixed conditionals already, you don't need to watch this video. And there is exercise for you. If you had reached the station timely, what it would have been? Answer is, I think, what is it? Work out And it's up to you. Please, thank you very much for watching the video. And till the next class on the next time, next schedule, I hope you will be at home safe. And if it is not essential to go out, please stay. So thank you very much. Thank you all.